Hi there, I'm Dr. Jen, and my goal today is to help you with your digital footprint. We want to analyze and enhance your online presence. So, I have been recruiting and hiring in various fields with various organizations for quite a few years. I'm currently an executive coach, consultant, author, speaker, podcaster, all of the things. And my goal today is to have your digital footprint align with your personal and professional goals. Speaking of digital footprint, here's a bit of mine, ways that we can stay connected. All right, so in under 20 minutes, this is our path today. We're going to audit the trail that you leave. We're going to optimize it to align with the image you want to portray. And finally, we're going to leverage that curated image to do good and help you achieve your personal and professional goals. So, what the heck is a digital footprint? Well, this is how our friends at Common Sense Media define it. Before we dive in, I want to make sure you understand exactly what a digital footprint is and why it matters. So basically, your digital footprint's the trail of information you leave behind whenever you're active online. It's divided into two categories, active and passive. Your active digital footprint includes anything you intentionally post or share. Think social media updates, blog posts, even comments on websites. This is the content you actively choose to contribute. Now, on the other hand, your passive digital footprint consists of data collected without you directly sharing it. It's search history, cookies, information websites gather about you. It could even be content that others share from screenshots or recordings that you haven't personally contributed. So today, we're only going to focus on that active footprint. Well, why does it matter, Jen? All right. So it's a key part of your whole persona, your professional identity, whether you're aware of it or not. What pops up in a search engine can make or break an opportunity before it even happens. So your digital presence acts as a series of interconnected footprints on this vast landscape of the internet. Every single interaction, every post, every online engagement leaves an imprint that contributes to your digital identity. Whether you're a professional seeking new opportunities or an individual connecting on a global network, your online identity plays a pivotal role in how others perceive you. And let's face it, a positive online reputation can enhance your credibility, can pave the way for personal and professional advancement, but a tarnished reputation can lead to missed opportunities, damaged relationships, even professional setbacks. In today's world, your online persona is a powerful, dynamic force that can open or close doors for you. All right, so what's up with the number 70? Why does that matter? Well, been a couple of recent studies that found 70% of recruiters look at social media profiles or conduct a quick Google search to get a sense of who you are beyond your resume before they even put you into that applicant pool. And at least half of them say the information they found directly impacted whether or not they made an offer or even scheduled an interview. In today's competitive global market, recruiters are always tuning into your digital footprint. So you've got to put your best foot forward. All right. Well, how do you start that? The first thing you do is audit it. You want to identify your goals for that online persona, locate the active and passive content, and then check for alignment with your goals. All right, so when you do that search, when you do that audit, we want you looking like this guy here. He is happy with what he sees. How do you know what to look for? Well, in a moment, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do a little investigating. If you haven't done this recently, you need to Google yourself. There are some basic things you want to focus on to ensure your online persona accurately and positively represents you. You want to check the visuals. You want to make sure that your profiles have photos that are appropriate and professional, even on your personal profiles. You want to make sure that the content on those profiles is accurate and positive, and you want to pay attention to the content you share. Now, we know that there's some danger zones. Most of these, I think, are pretty self-explanatory, but double check that list just to be sure. All right, 90 seconds. I want you to take 90 seconds and Google yourself. Press pause and come back to me. All right, so which one were you? Hopefully, you had a few more smiles than surprises. But let's face it, many of us still have a few misconceptions about our digital footprint. Some of us believe that if we delete something, it's gone forever, but that's not always the case. Once content is out there, it can be archived, shared, or captured, meaning traces of it can still exist even if you delete the original post. Next, we often think our private social media accounts are invisible to recruiters, to others in the professional world. But let's face it, even if you have those privacy settings up to date, there's still ways for folks to access that. Maybe through a friend, someone else who has access to the content. It's not always invisible. So, understanding what your digital footprint is and how it impacts your career is absolutely essential. The good news is that there are ways to manage an improvement. That's what we'll be covering next. All right, so I created a handy dandy little audit tool that I'll share with you at the end of this video. It's a fillable PDF, so you can personalize it and keep track of what you might want to refine. All right, now you know what's out there. You know what you've got. Let's explore how to enhance and optimize your footprint. You want to be consistent. You want to enhance it so that it passes the test with both humans and chatbots. And you want to carefully curate that image. So before you start creating or updating your online profiles, you needed to have a clear idea of what's out there. You've got that now. And hopefully you have a goal of what you want to achieve. Do you want to attract new opportunities? Do you want to establish your credibility? Do you want to connect with like-minded people? Depending on your goals, you'll need to tailor your content, tone, and style. Consistency across platforms is key to building a strong personal brand, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, X, or even your personal website. Your profiles should all present a unified image of who you are as a professional. That means using the same profile picture, consistent job titles, similar language to describe your expertise. A consistent online brand makes you more memorable and it demonstrates professionalism. Carefully curate that consistent image. Woo! Can you say that 10 times quickly? Carefully curate a consistent image. All right. So this is an article that came out in the Harvard Business Review just a couple of months ago. It really shows you the power of algorithms in this whole process. So one part of optimization is understanding the power of keywords, both to help or to hurt you. Depending on the area of the world that you're interested in and the culture and laws of the host country, you might want to pay attention to certain indicators. Essentially, we don't want to be disqualified from a pool of applicants based on demographics that may or may not be accurate. We want to ensure that you get your opportunity to shine with an interviewer. A quick example of identifiers that an algorithm might pick up are age or experience. If you are early career, you want your footprint to highlight all the amazing steps you've taken professionally, not the short amount of time since you graduated. And as someone who's at the other end of that spectrum, we might want to be careful so that people don't assume our footprint comes with orthopedic shoes. Assumptions can be made either way about someone's age or experience. This doesn't mean not telling the truth or withholding things. It just means maybe don't put the year that you graduated. Things like that. So algorithms can pick up on those things. All right. So, what platforms are most important? To some degree, it really just depends on your goals. I think most people would agree that a solid LinkedIn profile is important for each of us. So, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, those all appeal to different audiences and can be utilized effectively. I've included a couple of recent articles on the final slide that highlights a few of those done well for educators. All right, so what's important on LinkedIn? Your profile photo and banner, headline, and summary. All right, so we're talking about LinkedIn. The most bang for your buck comes from the three areas I highlighted on the previous slide: profile photo and banner, headline, and summary. Here's an example of a former colleague's LinkedIn profile. So, Kristen was currently recruiting for a leadership role at an international school. And this is her LinkedIn profile. All right, so let's take a look at it. She's got a really good photo. It's clear, you can see her, she's smiling. She's got a map of the world behind her. What about the banner? Again, not bad. Probably you would infer she travels a lot or perhaps works internationally. It lists her current role. All right, great. You see where she works. This profile did a good job for her. She recently got an amazing job offer for her ideal role at one of her top 3 schools. So, good job, Kristen. All right, let's see another one. Okay, how about Jordan? All right, Jordan gives us a little bit more. Again, great profile photo. Clearly see his face. But look at the difference in the banner. So he really optimized that banner. You see him collaborating with others. You see him on stage. You see him giving a presentation. So he's optimizing that banner to really showcase different ways that he shines. You see a sort of broader job title there, headline, Teaching and Learning Leader in International Schools. Great. And then that about section, he used a summary to showcase his skills and his talents. Experienced instructional coach, thought leader, licensed administrator. We know a little bit more about Jordan just from taking a quick look at his LinkedIn profile. Nothing at all wrong with Kristen's. She did a good job. It's clear, it's concise, it's professional, but Jordan optimized it a bit. So we know a little bit more about him. All right. Now that we know Kristen, we feel comfortable with her, let's share a little bit more. So when I did my Google search of Kristen, came up with some really fabulous things. I would say it turned up really appropriate content. There's lots of job related posts. The second page, there's several links to sessions she's presented at conferences. All in all, I would say that it aligns with her personal and professional goals. As a former social studies educator myself, I know we often tend to have a bit more posts related to politics. That's pretty predictable. After all, it's what we teach. This X post is Misleading a little bit though. When this pops up in the Google search, it appears that Kristen wrote it, right? That's what I assumed. However, I was really intrigued because I know Kristen and I know that she has an ex-husband, not a current wife, and that she wasn't even in the US for the January 6th event at the White House. So, if you didn't click on this link, you wouldn't know that that's actually a comment that somebody posted on her page. It's a really quick example of why it's really important to know your footprint. By understanding and refining your digital presence, you're ensuring you stand out in all the right ways to recruiters or other professionals. So just double check that. If there's not a way to get something off there, you know about it ahead of time and you can have a quick explanation ready. Like, hey, this was a comment. This is not me. All right. So you've done some optimization, you've enhanced, your online brand is consistent, your messaging showcased your achievements, and you've worked to build a strong network. What the heck do you do with it? You can leverage your online presence as a springboard for some professional leaps. Let's really use it to put yourself out there. So, how can you do that? Share, 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 share. Share the good work of others. Share your expertise. Share your gifts and talents. And most importantly, at this stage of the game, create, don't just curate. So, how can you maximize those opportunities to stand out from the crowd? Take part in panels, share what you're working on, present at conferences, write, blog, appear on podcasts, give back, provide value to others. There's a zillion ways that you can do this. Cora is a great example of leveraging her online presence for good. If you don't know her, you definitely need to know her if you're in the education field. I followed her for several years before I had the great honor to serve on a panel with her at 21st Century Learning Hong Kong. She is a rock star, let me tell you. She consistently shares her work online. She adds value and she's seen as an innovator and a leader. Again, she shares things that she's working on. She shares things other people would be interested in. She adds value and she adds value for free. She's doing good. Okay, so here's another example from my own footprint. I know that my footprint includes a fair amount of appropriate content. It links to presentations I've done, conferences I've presented at. But lately, I've been really intentional about putting out more sort of unscripted content that provides a glimpse of who I am as a person, not necessarily as a part of an organization. So this was a short video of how I'm using Christine's book during some big transitions in my life. This post and link to your one on LinkedIn shares insights from the book, and obviously it gets the word out to others about Christine's book. So I'm doing good in sharing on behalf of someone else, but it also helps me with my goal of strengthening my individual brand by showing my vulnerability and a little bit more on my personal side. All right, so let's recap. Hopefully, you've gotten a glimpse of your own footprint. Like I said, I created an audit tool that should help you dive into it a little bit more. In terms of optimization, a few tweaks can go a long way. Maybe it's just getting a great new headshot, using it consistently across all platforms. If that's on your list, use AI. There's tons of new apps that will take selfies you have and turn them into some really fabulous professional headshots. Maybe you just need to revise your headline on LinkedIn. Wow, that's easy. You've got this. You can do it. And finally, what are you going to do with that spiffy, polished online persona? I invite you to take a little risk. Share something you've created that you think might help others. Share something great about a colleague. Participate in a webinar. Submit a proposal to present at a conference. Put yourself out there. Share something that you're working on that you're not sure about. Ask for some feedback. Marie Forleo is someone in the business world that I really, really admire. She's written several books, including Everything is Figure Outable. And she always ends all of her videos and podcasts by saying, the world really needs that special gift that only you have. And it is absolutely true. Put yourself out there and share. All right, so here is where you can access that audit tool that I created. Get it, download it, use it. Check out what's out there in your footprint. And again, here's some pieces of my footprint. I would absolutely love to connect with you. Please reach out. Let's talk about your digital footprint.